Nick back again for now my second entry in my Road to Infinity War series of me reviewing the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. I know a lot of people may not like this movie, but I actually really like it. I love it. Like, I just rewatched it and it's still fresh in my mind again, even though the nostalgia coming back from me being a kid. I love The Incredible Hulk. Like, this is really good. I think the only really big negatives I really have about this movie is that I feel so bad that the CG really does not hold up. Like, I feel like now I'm looking at a video game Hulk, except there's very few shots and very few exceptions where I feel like it looks kind of bad or kind of good, but it's teeters. Like, I think that looks good, that looks decent, but when you compare it to like Avengers or Thor Ragnarok, like a lot of like the Hulk CG, like you really can tell how much better it's got. But negative stuff out of the way, I guess. Now, this movie is obviously, there's a lot of baggage that comes with it because Mark Ruffalo took over Edward Norton as the Hulk, and so this was really Edward Norton's Hulk movie. And for a lot of time, a lot of people didn't think that it really was connected, even though Tony Stark did show up at the end. But now, this movie, I actually really come to adore this movie. I actually really like it. I think as a Bruce Banner story, it is really good. You get all the Hulk, like, things that you would want from a Hulk movie. You get Hulk smash. You get Hulk hulking out. You get Hulk punching gloves that are made out of police cars, and just that sentence alone is so awesome. But you really get to see the exploration of Bruce Banner's character, which I actually really loved. I actually think Edward Norton does an amazing job of really, you really get to see what the heart of this character is and how really afraid he is. And that he doesn't, that, yeah, the whole point of this movie is trying to get rid of it. And I actually really adore that because we just had the Ang Lee Hulk at the time this movie came out. I adore that this movie just like, alright, we're going to put a little bit of a prologue in the beginning, but right in the middle, right where we're going to start this movie is them going after him. That he's been on the run and everything. So like we get to see him pick him up at a really like bad place where he's in, like, I believe it's Brazil, I think. So I think he's, if I remember correctly, he's like hiding out and stuff like that, and then he just gets ambushed. Now, I think one of my favorite points of this movie is how the very first time we get to see the Hulk and how the very first time that you really get to see like his transformation and then him picking off all the guards one by one, and then you're just left with Tim Roth, and you get to see like him, and like you first see the Hulk. And what I love about this Hulk, just the design better, is that this dude looks mean. This Hulk looks mean looking, dude. Like, I really like, especially when he's walking in this shot and he rips the shirt off. Like this, like, oh, this Hulk looks mean. Like, you do not want to, like, so good, so good. And then, like, I really think this movie had a really solid plot. I feel like I looked at the runtime and it's like 2:15, but I really do feel like it really does blow by a lot faster than most other Marvel movies, which I really think is probably to its benefit, because I feel like a lot of this movie can be forgettable, and it's okay to be forgettable because we have a new Hulk, but it's okay to look back in this movie and to think that a lot of this really works, and paying attention more, like, you can see the subtle, like, Stark Industries and then the S.H.I.E.L.D. references, and obviously Tony Stark pops up at the end, but, like, it wasn't as connected as the Marvel Universe because there wasn't a big Marvel Universe yet. It's just the second movie. But I actually really dug this movie for what it did at the time. And as a kid, I used to love this movie. And now I can say, as like 10 years later, I still firmly love this movie and what it did. Is it as great as all the other Marvel movies? Probably not. It's probably more like, because it is an origin story, it is probably towards the lower half. And it does suffer from the Marvel fatigue of having really bad villains. And I'm only talking about Tim Roth because Thunderbolt Ross by William Hurt is a really good villain, and I'm so happy he came back in Civil War. But like, obviously, you kind of have the comparison of the bad guy fights the mirror version of himself. But I actually really kind of dug this. But like, if you really take a look at it, and you discount all the bad CG. Like, some of the fight scenes are some of the coolest Hulk fight scenes I think you're ever gonna get. And knowing that we're not ever probably gonna get another Hulk standalone movie, at least for a long time, I actually really think this movie holds up as a great Hulk movie. And you can just count it as part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or you can keep it in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it works beautifully. And I think I think easily the best part of this is Edward Norton's performance as Bruce Banner, I think it really does drive the entire plot along, or not plot. It really does drive and helps the movie sustain. Like it really helps sustain the movie. And as far as the plot goes, I thought it was a pretty decent, good plot. As I already talked about, I love that they start with him on the run, and that it's not more or less him trying to control it; it's him trying to get rid of it, which is obviously really good because you never want to be the monster. And like to quote one of the greatest movies of all time, you either die here or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. So he's like really trying to prevent all that. So there's my very small, quick thoughts on. Was I serious about to say Age of Hulk? No. The Incredible Hulk. This movie, I think 10 years later, I think it holds up as a great Hulk movie, but as a bigger part, it was one of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Maybe not. It would go lower end of like where I would rank probably the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but as a Hulk movie, I think this is the best we're ever going to get, and I think the character exploration that they did was really, really good and well executed. So there you go. That's my review of The Incredible Hulk, and hopefully soon I will have out, I believe, what's after this one? Iron Man 2. I think Iron Man 2 is after this one. And I know a lot of people hate that movie, but I actually really love it, especially if you're watching it.